Hello, dear friends of the search. Today I will share with you one of the most profound truths of existence, the revelation that what we call free will is one of the most charming illusions of the mind. So, a topic that we all take for granted, free will, we will see if it really exists or if it is an illusion created by the mind through philosophy, myths, and science. As Socrates said, I know that I know nothing. He did not mean renunciation of thought, but the recognition that those who think they know everything are trapped in their illusions. Know thyself thus becomes the key. Ignorance of the true self is the root of misery, and self knowledge the path to freedom. The unexplored life is not worth living. Socrates. In ancient Greece, our ancestors understood this. There were the Fates, the three sisters who wove the thread of life. Clotho wove, Lachesis divided, and Atropos cut, irrevocably. Not even the gods escaped their thread. But we will also scientifically prove the most astonishing truth that this familiar functional self of ours, the proud ego that we think rules our lives, is actually an excellent deceiver, a biological software, a flesh and blood algorithm made up of thousands of little sub-programs that work in the background. Without our permission, without our input, they produce thoughts, feelings, decisions, and in the end, the ego, the I, appears on stage to take the credit, like an actor who enters the stage at the moment the curtain falls. And he too receives the applause for a performance that took place without him. And us? We not only believe in this illusion, we approve of it. We congratulate our smart selves. We pride ourselves on our ideas. We worry about our decisions. This whole comedy is so perfectly designed that even now, as you listen to it, a part of you resists. It says, no, I exist, I think, I decide. Let's begin this exciting journey of discovery, the illusion of free will, an odyssey to the truth. Just as the seasons return in an eternal cycle, spring, summer, fall, winter, so too do the eternal questions of humanity return, generation after generation. And one of the most profound is this: do I really decide? Or is the sense of control a beautiful illusion? The ancient Greeks had conceived of it through the cyclical time of the world. The Fates, the three sisters who wove the thread of life in an eternal rhythm. Today, in this new age of science, we are rediscovering what the wise have always known. That the sense of I who decides is one of the most charming tricks of the mind. Let us begin this journey towards eternal truth. Modern science confirms what the ancient sages intuited, that the sense of the ego, the I who decides, is a trick of the mind. Imagine your mind as a talented storyteller. Every time a thought arises, I'm going for a walk, I'm hungry, I'll talk now. The mind immediately makes up a story. I thought of it, I decided it, I did it. But if we observe carefully, the thought simply appeared. Like a wave in the sea, no one chose it, no one controlled it. It simply emerged from the infinite sea of consciousness. Here's what Socrates said about the search for the self. Socrates called us, know thyself, know thyself. But when we look within ourselves, where is this self? We find only a parade of thoughts, feelings, memories that come and go like clouds in the sky. The I, the ego character we think we are, is like the echo on the mountain. It seems real, but it's just a sound that comes back. This is how science reveals the truth, with the experiments of Benjamin Libet. In the 1980s, neurophysiologist Benjamin Libet made a surprising discovery. By measuring brain activity, he saw that when someone decides to move their hand, the brain had already started the movement a few hundred milliseconds before. In other words, first the action happens in the brain, and then the mind makes up the story of I decided it. Modern brain imaging, more recent studies with functional MRI are even more impressive. They can predict a decision up to 7 to 10 seconds before the person feels like they have decided. This means that conscious choice is like the end credits in a movie. They appear after all the action has happened. The default mode network, the brain's default mode network, The DMN is the author of our internal fairy tale. When he works non-stop, we think we are the protagonists of this story. The default mode network, DMN, is the brain network that builds the story of the me. It connects memories, experiences, and emotions, creating the feeling that there is a stable person who lives in time and controls their life. It is activated when the mind wanders into the past or future, weaving the so-called narrative self, an illusion of continuity and control. When it quiets down, it is revealed that we were never bound to history. We are the very field where everything appears. When researchers study the brain during deep states of meditation, they see something fascinating. The so-called default mode network, the areas that create the sense of self, dramatically reduce their activity. People then report a sense of oneness, as if they have returned to their true nature. The illusion of continuity, Plato and the shadows of the cave. In the famous myth of the cave, Plato shows us people who see shadows on the wall and mistake them for reality. So it is with free will. We see the shadows of actions. We make up stories of cause and effect, and we take them for truth. The sense of continuity. The mind also creates the illusion of a continuous me. Me yesterday, me today, me tomorrow. A thread that unites memories and expectations. Neuroscience shows us that this identity is being reconstructed every moment. The brain is constantly rewriting our history, piecing together memories that may have changed over time. As Heraclitus said, everything flows, nothing remains. Even the I flows, it is not permanent. Greek wisdom and the fates, the three sisters of fate. In Greek cosmogony, the fates were not simply mythological figures. They represented a deeper truth about the nature of reality. Clotho spun the thread of life. Lachesis determined its length and course. Atropos cut it when the time came. Even Zeus obeyed the fates. This shows us that the ancients also understood there is no absolute personal control. Fate as the flow of the whole. Fate is not an external force that governs us. It is the natural flow of the universe itself. As Heraclitus said, the common is the wise. There is a common wisdom, a reason that permeates everything. Our personal choice is like a wave that thinks it decides where it will break. But it is the sea that moves the wave. The Stoics and acceptance, Zeno and the other Stoics summed it up beautifully. We live according to nature when we accept what the word of the universe brings. This is not about passivity, but about alignment with cosmic wisdom. What happens when we awaken? When we see clearly that thoughts and actions happen on their own, what is left? Not emptiness or despair, but a deep rest, a trust in life. Life continues to express itself, movements, words, decisions, but without the burden of personal property. So is our existence. It flows, it expresses itself, it moves with its own innate wisdom. We don't have to try to take breaths, to make the heart beat. Everything happens by itself. And here is the great paradox. When we lose the illusion of free will, we lose nothing real. On the contrary, we find real freedom. The freedom of the whole, which is not divided into me and the world. The freedom that does not depend on choices, but is the very nature of existence. Dear friends, free will as imagined by the mind is a beautiful fairy tale, useful perhaps for navigating the world. But when we wake up, we see that life has always happened on its own. There is no controller, no separate doer. There is only the effortless, indestructible flow of being. And there, in this recognition, we rest, silent, complete, free. So we have seen that free will, as we imagine it, is simply a story of the mind. And when this illusion is dispelled, the truth remains. Life flows by itself, and we rest in its flow. My name is Elias Stasinos. Thank you for traveling with me on this odyssey.